Hello everybody, welcome back to Jubes & Co with me, Michelle Dewberry. Now, there's been quite a lot of conversation and debate and disagreement about what to do with the two-child benefit cap. Well, we know now that what is actually going to happen is there's going to be a vote on whether or not it should be lifted. Well, that is taking place at some point this evening. On the one side of the fence, you have people, Laila, that say this is essential to remove children out of child poverty, and whatever the situation of the adults, that's not the fault of the children. On the other side of the argument, you have people suggesting it's just all out of control, benefits Britain and so on and so forth. Where are you?
The thing is, Labour thinks that you fix poverty by government handouts, but that's not the way you fix it. You fix it by, people aren't poor because the government doesn't spend enough. They're poor because wages haven't moved in 15 years, rent's gone through the roof, taxes take half of what you've got. And that's how you make people richer. You make work pay. You don't give government handouts.
Why not do both?
But you're not doing both.
But why not do both?
Because you encourage people not to work. When it's better not to work, you encourage people. Benefits should be a short-term lifestyle, short-term net. But right now, Labour's making it a lifestyle choice.
What confuses me is that a few months ago, you'd have been making the exact opposite argument here, because Reform has changed its position, and I'm curious why. No,
we've always had the same position. So, due to mass immigration, since 2008, we've imported foreign cheap labour. And as a result, we've imported foreign cheap wages. So wages have been stagnant.
So if you've always had the same position, why in May did Farage say that lifting the cap would help families?
Yeah, so if you let me... I mean, are you going to let me finish? Or I haven't finished.
The floor is yours.
No.
I'll decide who the floor belongs to. Thank you. It's not your programme. Carry on.
Because of that, people are working very hard, but taxes keep going up, thanks to Labour and the Conservatives. Inflation is up, prices are going up, rent's up, but wages are not going up. And we have British families who are working very, very hard and are not even getting a look in terms of, a better life. So our message is, if you are British and you're in full-time work, we back you. And that's why we want to lift it for British working families.
So if you are a child living in this country in poverty and you are not from a British family, you deserve to be in poverty?
Because the British people should not pay for people who have not...
Well, hang on, that's a yes or no question. Yes or no? Do those children deserve to be in poverty?
It's not a binary choice, as you say.
Well, of course it is.
No, it's not a binary choice. It's about priorities, and it's about whether we have enough money.
But Labour is saying all children should not be in poverty, and you're saying only British children should not be in poverty.
As I said, you don't lift people out of poverty with government handouts. If you really wanted to lift people out of poverty, you would reduce tax on work, you would make work pay and not benefit pay.
I'm so confused. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to be really clear on this. No, I really just want to get a straight answer out of you, because you're saying that you support the policy, but you're also saying that benefits don't lift children out of poverty. Which one is it?
So you're getting mixed up. We support the policy for working British families because they are paying into the system.
Okay.
We don't think that people who are not paying into the system, who are not British, should get the benefit of taxpayers working hard.
Got it. So non-British children living in poverty deserve to stay in poverty?
No. Non-British workers, non-British people should be working and not claiming benefits if they are not British. You can't go to any country and claim benefits.
And then if they fall ill, or if they get injured, or if they're out of work for whatever reason, and they fall below the poverty line, their children then should stay in poverty, should they?
You don't lift people out of poverty with government handouts. We're talking about helping people who are in work.
You keep trotting that out, Laila, but it really is a yes or no question. Do those children deserve to be in poverty or not?
Nobody deserves to be in poverty.
Well, then why don't we help them, as Labour is suggesting?
Because government handouts do not... Everyone knows that government handouts do not lift people... You think that a bit of government handout is actually going to lift people out of poverty? Are you that naive?
I think...
When you are paying... Hang on, when you're paying half your money to the government and you're getting nothing in return. Wages are stagnant, taxes are going up, inflation's going up, and you think a tiny government handout, it's almost insulting, is going to lift people out of poverty.
You're talking in rhetoric.
Do you know any... Sorry?
You're talking in rhetoric. Let me put this in real life. If there are two parents...
Can you explain to me what talking in rhetoric actually means?
You're talking in political theory. I want to talk in real life.
I'm not talking in political theory.
OK, here we go. If there's a mum...
There's nothing more important than keeping you and your loved ones safe online. With so many VPN options available, choosing the right one can be pretty daunting. And with their Valentine's Day sale, this video's sponsor, ExpressVPN, is making the choice easier for GBNews viewers. It's the easiest way to stay safe online, protect your money, and save big for less than £2 a month. Click the link in the video's description or scan the QR code today.
and a dad, and they're both working, and they are not British, and they're living in this country. The dad falls ill.
Yes.
He's out of work.
Yes.
The children then fall into poverty.
Yes.
In that scenario, you are saying we would not pay benefits to that family in order to help lift the children out of poverty.
Because we should not be paying foreigners benefits. It's as simple as that. We are a country.
So there we go. So those children you are arguing deserve to be in poverty, which I find completely objectionable.
You do not lift people out of poverty with government handouts.
You're returning to rhetoric.
Let me tell you something, Seb. You think that a government handout is going to lift people out of poverty? Do you honestly believe that?
If
yes or no?
You are.
You like these binary questions, yes or no?
Because if you're in that scenario that I just described and half of your income suddenly disappears overnight because your dad falls ill, you should deserve not to fall into poverty. The baseline of my politics is that no child in this country deserves to live in poverty. And what really, really frustrates me is that you, having supported this policy a few months ago, are doing a U-turn on it.
We never supported a blanket removal of the two-child cap.
OK, fine, accept that.
Never, ever. I don't know what you're talking about.
I accept that. The point is, a few months ago, because, and I'm happy to be corrected on that.
Our position hasn't changed.
OK, so a few months ago, Farage was saying that the two-child benefit cap, if we scrapped it, that would help families. I would agree with him. What I'm disappointed now is that tonight he's going to vote against that and run the risk of plunging children into poverty. I hope the vote will pass and that won't be the case.
Our message is that if you are British and you're in full-time work, we back you. Your message is anyone can come to the country, have an endless amount of children, and the British taxpayer will pay for them. We cannot afford that anymore. Labour's policy is to just grow the welfare bill endlessly, get more people on welfare and assume that they'll vote for you.
We're talking 1 in 9 children here.
That's not... Oh, stop guilt-tripping me with the kids.
I'm not guilt-tripping.
Yes,
I'm giving you facts, Laila. We're dealing in facts here.
Then why don't you make work pay if you want to get kids out of benefit?
We should do that as well.
But you don't.
We should do both. They're both important.
How can work pay when you're taking half of it?
I completely agree with you. They're both really important.
Do you agree that the previous budget where you're taxing people more is wrong? If you agree with
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
So you don't think that the government's taking too much of people's money right now?
I would love to see a world where we pay lower taxes, but right now we have a budget to balance. We have a debt to get down.
Balance what?
We inherited a horrible, horrific inheritance from the Tories, and it was not sustainable.
Yeah, but you're making it worse. The black hole's even bigger.
And once again, we're getting away from the fact that reform would willingly plunge children living in this country into poverty and would not give them a lifeline out. And I find that abhorrent. Well, I'm really sorry. I just find it so objectionable.
You know what I find abhorrent is British people working to the bone and people coming into this country just to live off the British taxpayer and not giving into the country. You support people who do not work. We always support those that do work. And that's the difference.
If they're British,
and
that's it. If they're British, you devalue the work of people who live in this country who are not British.
We will
there are people in this country.
British people.
But Laila, there are people in this country who are contributing to our economy, who are doing crucial jobs, who are not British. They are just as valuable.
They are taking the job
from
British people, and that's got to change.
They're keeping our economy going. Oh, come on, Laila. If you stopped immigration, the country would collapse. The economy would nosedive.
That is a complete lie. Why? What proof do you have of that?
Because when immigrants come, they come to do jobs that we can't fill here.
That's not true.
Now, of course, in the long term, we have to rebalance.
You look down on immigrants. You think they're going to do menial slave work.
I am the son of immigrants, Laila. Of course I don't look down on them.
OK, so why are you saying that immigrants only come and do jobs that the Brits can't do? What about immigrants that want to come and do jobs that Brits do want to do?
Because that's how the market works.
No,
that's how the market works.
That's how it's been screwed. Because basically we've allowed...
It's just a basic fact.
We've relied on foreign cheap labour for too long, and that has deprioritised British people.
I agree.
When you have mass migration, it has an effect on housing, public services, and it's the British taxpayer who are paying for all the incomers. They're paying for it in a loss of their culture and values in the towns that they live in.
Loss of culture?
Yes. They're paying for it.
As a woman who wants to be mayor of London, talking about immigrants erasing our culture is not going to win you many votes.
Why not? I'm a daughter of immigrants myself. My parents didn't come here.
Because London is culturally rich because of immigrants.
My parents came here for a British country with British values and British culture. They didn't come here to find, an Egyptian village, which is somehow where you find.
So you think that London being a cultural melting pot is a bad thing?
You're missing what I'm saying.
No. Yes or no?
You're missing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is some parts of London and some parts of the country have lost a civic umbrella of culture, and that is British, and that's got to change.
Where in London?
Tower Hamlets.
So what's wrong with Tower Hamlets?
Tower Hamlets, you have burqa markets on the streets. That is not British. You have Whitechapel, the name of the station is written in a different language. You have people who
It's also written in English. What's the problem?
Why should it be written in any other language? This is the capital of the United Kingdom.
You go to France, you go to Germany, you go to Spain, and signs are in other languages.
No, they're not.
Of course they are. Have you never travelled the metro in Paris? They're in English, they're in French, they're in Spanish. The announcements on the metro are in English, French and Spanish.
They are not.
When was the last time you were on the Paris metro?
French. So
my partner's French. I was in Paris last month.
And if
they were in 3 languages.
If that's changed, then that's wrong. I don't believe that every culture should be celebrated equally, because that's where you lose cultural identity of the country. And I think that when people move here, they move for British values, a British way of life, and a British culture. They don't move here to be subjected to another foreign culture, and that's what's happening. And also, British people have been deprioritised in this country for social housing for far too long.
Well,
and so what
good luck winning over a city of immigrants, a cultural melting pot, and so much richer for it.
So many immigrants, and they completely agree. They moved here for a British city.
And it is a British city.
No, it's not. In some parts it is not. In some parts it is not.
That's so offensive to people living in Britain. And people living in London.
I'm a daughter of immigrants. I don't find it offensive. You might, but I don't. I believe in a civic British culture, and I know that Labour doesn't. No, you don't.
So do I.
No, you don't.
You don't know what I believe in.
Well, you're just saying, you're arguing with me. That's what I'm saying. We need to have a British civic culture.
We do, which is enriched by other cultures as well.
It is. What we have now is we are a very tolerant country. But what's happened now, because we've had mass migration, we've had a huge amount of immigrants where assimilation and integration hasn't been expected by the host nation, and it should have been, right? So what you have is a huge demographic change that's way too fast for cohesion to take place, and you've seen it in different parts of the country. And that is that people have come to this country and their aims are not for the benefit of Britain. Right? They come with their sectarian views, and they've changed the fabric of the country. London is... I grew up in London. I'm born and raised. I'm older than you. And not that that makes any difference, but I have seen a demographic change and a cultural change in certain parts of London. And that was never the case before. And British people who live here, who've built this city, who no longer feel a connection where they live. And that is because,
as I said... Do you know who built this city?
As I've said...
Jews, Huguenots, Bengalis,
and there's anti-Semitism.
Indians,
and yes, and Jewish people sadly feel anti-Semitism in the city.
All sorts of people built this city. It wasn't just British people. If that is your message to Londoners and you want to be the Mayor of London, then good luck to you, because I don't think it's going to wash.
My message to Londoners is I will make London the British capital of the United Kingdom with a civic British culture. I want to see the flag everywhere. You probably find the flag offensive.
I would love to see the flag everywhere. I think that's a brilliant idea.
But that might be offensive to who you're saying.
I don't think it would at all.
You see, I'm not scared to say...
If you come to Britain and you don't like the British flag, then that's a problem.
So you might find in Tower Hamlets people don't like the British flag. I don't see it anywhere in Tower Hamlets.
I do.
Send me a picture. Post it for our viewers on WhatsApp where you see the flag in Tower Hamlets.
I'll go find you one, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That can be a challenge. That can be a homework for tonight.